6 months old. I was 6 months when I got glaucoma.
What are your thoughts on the rest of the Remy boys now?
I don't really know what they just who they are, you feel me? Like, it is what it is.
I feel good to be back. You know, sleep in my own bed, you know, eat some real food, see the family, you know what I mean, get all that love. And
Fetty Wap just touched down after 3 long years behind bars, and he wasted no time making noise. He rolled straight back into Patterson with zero security, just him and the streets that raised him. Within 2 days, he was already out giving interviews, talking like a man who had a lot on his chest. But then, out of nowhere, a wild video started spreading online and it shook everybody up. In the clip, Fetty looked tense and scared, like he was pleading with people not to hurt him.
Yeah, man, what's up?
How you feeling, brother?
I feel good, man.
You ain't missed no push-ups, been eating your protein. Like you was taking full advantage of that time, huh?
Yeah, a couple chicken packs and tunas and all that.
See what I'm saying? How are you, first of all, brother?
I'm blessed, man. You know, I'm blessed.
Fans couldn't believe their eyes. Was this really Fetty Wap after his big comeback? The internet went crazy trying to figure out what went down that night. January 8th, 2026. That's the date Fetty walked out of the feds, finally free. His real name, Willie Jr. Maxwell II, but to the world, he'll always be Fetty Wap. He had just served a little over 3 years out of a 6-year sentence linked to a serious drug charge. Thanks to the First Step Act, the bill signed back in 2018, he earned time off for good behavior and programs that helped slice nearly half his sentence. Right after that sentence got wrapped up, Fetty Wap wasted no time. The 34-year-old rapper headed straight back to Patterson, New Jersey, standing tall with no security and no fear. He pulled right up to his family's spot where around 20 to 30 of his closest people, relatives, and day one friends were already waiting to welcome him home. The moment he stepped out, the whole crowd started chanting 1,738, loud and proud, that signature Zoo Gang call that took over the world back in the day.
Yeah, I had glaucoma when I was little. Matter of fact, my mother is here, actually. Mom.
Welcome to TMZ, Mom. I'm asking him about his eye right now.
How old was I when I lost my eye? This is the right answer.
6 months old.
I was 6 months when I got glaucoma.
The vibe was pure nostalgia. Folks were bumping his classic hits like Trap Queen and 679 in the background. Everybody smiling and laughing, remembering those wild come-up days before fame changed everything. It was like time froze. Just love, loyalty, and music filling the air. The homecoming celebrations didn't stop for a minute. For days straight, Fetty and his crew hit up all the local spots, sharing small, welcome home dinners at the neighborhood joints, serving up that real Jersey flavor. We're talking Taylor ham sandwiches, Italian hot dogs, and even those fire homemade meals his mom and siblings whipped up just for him. Clips started flooding Instagram.
You know, I took a lot of time from them. And 4 years is a long time. You see your kids go from here to here, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I miss birthdays, I miss Christmas, I miss doctor's appointments, I miss daddy day at school and shit like
basketball games, dances,
basketball games, football games. My son's first day of high school.
Fetty laughing, vibing, and saying, "I'm blessed," again and again. His publicist even told the media he was focused, grounded, and ready to ease back into his circle. No rush, no pressure, just real energy all around. And all of this happened within his first 48 hours of freedom. Fetty Wap's first big sit-down after getting out was with Power 105.1's The Breakfast Club, and it was deep. He didn't bring up any enemies or beef, none of that. Instead, he got real about the stuff that truly mattered. Missing his kids' birthdays, doctor visits, basketball games, even their first days of school. You could feel the weight in his voice, like every word carried 4 years of lost moments he could never get back.
50 did a lot for me. You know what I'm saying? He, from day one, it was like he reached out like, yo, whatever you need, just holler at me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right. And then it was like, where this money going? I'm like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't used to that. I'm used to it's always the other way around.
Then he dropped something that really hit hearts. Fetty announced he's starting a foundation for kids with disabilities. This one's personal, since he's been living with congenital glaucoma since birth. He lost his left eye when he was just 6 months old, and doctors once told his family both eyes were supposed to be affected, but they managed to save one. That alone shows how strong he's been from the start. Fetty even mentioned that he occasionally uses cannabis, but only under doctor guidance, to help manage the pressure that builds up from his condition. It's all about staying healthy and balanced now. Right after that, French Montana posted footage from the studio showing Fetty and Max B back together, captioning it, "Zoo Gang Forever." Fans went wild seeing that bond still strong. Then G.I. the Kid shared a FaceTime screenshot with Fetty, showing love and saying he respected his resilience, telling him to stay focused. Even 50 Cent, who's been supporting him both financially and mentally through those rough years, showed major respect for Fetty's comeback energy.
So how long were you a part of the Remy Boys?
Day one. Day one, Remy Boy, me, Fetty, Monty. We started it all together. We was all like down together, basically like homeless together, feel me? So where we just kind of like came up with that, but just building our craft, you feel me? And it took off.
Throughout Fetty Wap's whole stretch in prison, one thing stayed solid. 50 Cent always had his back. Whatever Fetty needed during those 3 years, 50 made sure it got handled. That loyalty ran deep, and people in the industry noticed it big time. When Fetty finally came home, the local Patterson News didn't report a single issue. No drama, no shootouts, no tension, nothing. That's wild considering those were the same streets where, just 7 years ago, he had gone through chaos, getting caught up in beefs, close calls, and street problems that nearly cost him everything. But this time, it was different. The city welcomed him home in peace. The community vibe was surprisingly calm, full of celebration and relief. Old fans even started putting together little tributes. Driveway signs saying, "Welcome home, Fetty," popped up all over the city, and hashtags started trending across social media. It felt like the neighborhood was trying to give him a real second chance. But let's be real, Patterson streets got long memories, and not everyone forgets the past that easy. Some folks expected trouble when he got out, thinking old beefs might come back around. To really understand that tension, you gotta look at what went down before his arrest, especially that one wild night that set everything off.
Here's my student. Him and Monty are my students. Like, their lives changed when they met me, you feel me? Like, I taught them flows, like all the original flows that Fetty, I don't know, it's like a style going in circles right now, but like all the original flows, like from the day one flows, those were my flows. Know what I mean? That was my style, but I embraced it, you feel me? Like, cause I ain't no hater.
It all started around 5 o'clock in the morning on March 26, 2017. Fetty and his Remy Boy crew had just finished a late night performance and decided to swing by the 24-hour Montclair Deli on Montclair Avenue in Patterson. What was supposed to be a quick food run ended up sparking something way bigger than anyone expected. That deli had always been one of Fetty's go-to spots, a chill place he'd been hitting for years with zero problems. But that one night changed everything. The long simmering tension between Fetty and local Patterson rapper Raheem Fuzz Thomas finally boiled over. Their rivalry wasn't just about music, it ran deep, mixing hometown pride, street reputation, and who'd really carry the crown for Patterson hip-hop.
It's either P. Dice or it's all of y'all. Like, we want problems, and as long as he's in y'all squad, we want problems with y'all. And Wap said, he gotta go. Straight like that, that's the truth. I ain't leaving nothing out. That's the dead truth.
For a while, the tension stayed low-key. Little sneak disses and tracks, a few shady social media posts, nothing too wild. But when the two crews crossed paths at that deli, all that pressure exploded. Reports say Thomas and his people pulled up on Fetty's crew, and it went from words to chaos real quick. Witnesses said it started with fists flying, but then things got way more serious. Thomas allegedly hit one of Fetty's boys, while another man snatched Fetty's signature 1738 chain, the piece that repped Zoo Gang and everything they stood for. They even grabbed some of his cash before the place went wild. Later, surveillance footage surfaced showing a man believed to be Thomas wearing a bright red jacket, white tee, and cap, waving something around inside the deli while people scrambled for safety. The scene spread online fast and Patterson was buzzing. That moment turned a quiet rivalry into a full-blown city headline overnight.
Now, were there any other tracks you were supposed to be on?
Yeah, I was on Whatever. And I was on How We Do Things. And I was on 679. I was on Rewind. I was on a lot of tracks. A lot of them on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Word, but I was on at least 4 tracks on the album though.
In the middle of all that chaos, Fetty dropped to the floor while the scene turned wild. People were shouting, running, and trying to dodge danger as the situation spun out of control. Thomas's crew didn't just grab the chain, they also snatched a book bag from one of Fetty's homies who had just been hit, making the moment even crazier. But it didn't stop there. About an hour later, the drama spilled right out into the streets. Suddenly, gunfire broke out and 3 people ended up getting hit. Thankfully, no one lost their life that night, but it was still bad enough to shake up the whole city. 2 of the victims were rushed to St. Joseph's Regional Medical Center in Patterson, while a 3rd person later showed up at Hackensack University Medical Center looking for treatment. Rumors started flying fast. Word on the street was that one of the people hurt might have been Sylvester Huffin, one of Fetty's longtime friends and a key producer for RGF Productions. Some said he might have accidentally injured himself in the middle of all that panic, though that part was never officially confirmed. When police finally caught up with Thomas, they found a .45 caliber Springfield that had been reported stolen out of Colorado.
I was locked up. This kid is like an actor, my nigga, like, but I'm gonna let him, like, I mean, we gonna meet up one day. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna see him one day. They think they're gonna blackball me or like get me out the way, but we gonna meet up though.
Plus a stash of illegal ammo, armor-piercing and hollow point rounds. No gun was found on Huffin, and cops couldn't clearly say who else fired that night. Reports claim members of Fetty's crew might have shot back, but nobody could pin down exactly how everything went down in that wild, chaotic moment. And once that brawl spilled into the streets, the cops jumped on the case fast. Raheem Fuzz Thomas, who was 36 at the time, got picked up on weapons charges almost immediately. But because of New Jersey's new bail reform, he was right back out the next day, something that had the whole city talking. Still, his freedom didn't last long. On March 28th, police pulled him back in after new footage surfaced that confirmed his role in the chaos. By the very next day, the charges stacked up heavy. First-degree armed robbery, aggravated assault, and multiple gun counts, including possession as a convicted felon. Since Thomas already had prior convictions that banned him from carrying firearms, he had to face a judge in Passaic County Superior Court. The judge wasn't playing around. He ordered Thomas to stay locked up in the county jail while the case moved forward.
Like where I come from, I'm from Patterson, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Patterson, New Jersey, man. Like, you know what I mean? You make your bed, you gotta lay in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't, when it happened, it was like, all right, whatever. Like, let's just get this shit over with. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like, damn, I wish I could have did this or did that, because I did it once. And that's what I chose to do. I knew the consequences.
But right after all that, Thomas went online and added more fuel to the fire. He dropped a post on Instagram, now deleted, showing someone masked up, flexing Fetty's stolen chain. The caption tried to play it off like he didn't do it himself, but it was clearly a shot at Fetty. Fetty wasn't about to let that slide. He fired back on social media with new photos showing himself rocking fresh chains, proving he wasn't shaken one bit. The back and forth showed just how deep this tension ran in Patterson's underground rap scene. 2 local artists turned rivals, both fighting to prove who really ran the city.
The prisoners run the programs in jail.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like taking classes, like I got my GED in prison.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You know, I did that. They had like stock classes or like what is it called? S&P Fortune, something like that. S&P 500s.
Fortune 500.
And they teach you about the Billinger, top Billinger thing, bottom Billinger, all of that stuff. If that's what you went to, they got whatever you want. If you want to learn Spanish, you can go in there and learn Spanish.
That whole situation between Fetty Wap and Raheem Fuzz Thomas wasn't just random street drama. It was about pride, power, and who really ran Patterson's music scene. The shootout was the peak of all that tension, the breaking point after years of rivalry. But let's be clear, Fetty wasn't the suspect here. The police never charged him with anything. He was actually the one caught in the middle, a victim of the chaos that night. After that, things started to cool down in public. The beef slowly faded with no major flare-ups reported. Every once in a while, people would bring it back up through old clips or rumors online, but Fetty stayed focused. He kept dropping new music, taking care of his family, and keeping his name clean while Thomas faced a string of legal hits that pushed him out of the spotlight.
It's a saying we got in jail, right? If you could watch TV for an hour, you could do anything for an hour. So, out of jail, of course, we don't have to be at certain things at certain times. Give yourself 2 hours a day for yourself. Go in there, close the door, meditate, whatever. If that's what you want to, meditate. I don't know, do some yoga or some shit. I don't know how to do yoga and shit. I'm not flexible and shit. But for me, I like pull-ups.
But here's the twist. That deli beef wasn't the only smoke surrounding Fetty back in the day. Before the fame and all the headlines, there was another feud brewing, one that cut way deeper because it came from inside his own crew. The drama hit close to home, coming from someone who claimed they helped build Zoo Gang from the ground up. Before the fame blew up, Fetty's original team, the Remy Boys, also known as RGF or Zoo Gang, were tight. They formed around 2013 to 2014, a group made up of Monty, Gooey Kids, 4K, and P. Dice, real name Brian White.
when they say, oh, if you go back home, this could happen, that could happen. It only happens if you allow it. If you're a weak man, weak shit gonna happen to you. You know what I'm saying? When you stand on business, stand on business. You know what I mean? So I don't follow crowds, I lead them. You know what I mean? I wasn't the Remy Boys. I'm Fetty Wap.
P. Dice wasn't just a side member, he was there from day one. He was in the early tracks, the videos, the grind. He even claimed he's the one who connected Fetty with key industry players and helped shape the whole Remy Boys brand from scratch. According to P. Dice, he first crossed paths with Monty at a local studio, and from there, the two eventually linked up with Fetty. The chemistry clicked right away. It was like they'd been making music together for years. They started cooking up track after track, building that signature sound that would soon take over the airwaves.
Show kids, like, especially kids with disabilities. You know what I'm saying? Like, kids with disabilities, kids that's less fortunate, kids that, like, grew up without their pops or grew up without their moms or grew up in a foster care, that, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing impossible. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't supposed to be able to drive, let alone even see. I was born with congenital glaucoma.
Then came the moment that changed everything. Trap Queen. When that hit dropped in 2014, it blew the doors wide open. The song went multi-platinum, the Remy Boys mixtape started buzzing everywhere, and before long, the crew signed a major deal with 300 Entertainment. The money started rolling in fast and it looked like they were unstoppable. But behind the scenes, cracks were forming. By mid-2015, whispers of tension inside the crew started to leak out. Things got messy when Fetty went public that July, revealing through social media that P. Dice had been kicked out of the group. The reason? Allegedly finessing money from the crew's shared earnings. In a since-deleted Instagram post, Fetty didn't hold back. He said P. Dice had been pocket-watching, worrying about everyone else's cash instead of putting in the real work on stage and in the studio. Fetty even claimed he'd been covering P. Dice's expenses without getting any effort in return. And just like that, P. Dice came right back with his own shots, ready to air everything out and defend his name.
Who they are, I ain't holding no grudges. Like, I ain't mad, like, I ain't holding, like, I'm working, you feel me? Like I told you, feel me, I'm doing me, so. But I just see how people are, feel me? Everything come back to bite us in the ass, though, feel me? Karma's a bitch.
P. Dice wasn't backing down. He straight up claimed he was the one who created that sing rap sound that put Patterson on the map. He said before anyone called it melodic rap, he was labeling it ignorant R&B, a mix of smooth vocals and raw street energy that later became Fetty's signature style. According to Dice, Monty caught on to the vibe first, then Fetty ran with it and took it to another level. Dice even admitted that around 20% of his influence came from Max B.
I never been on a cruise before. And I just seen like I was every day the commercial come on. I'm like,
yo,
this
that's
shit
funny. Max B
bro.
just said the same thing when he just left. He was like, yo, I can't wait to go on a cruise.
Yeah, like that's something you just, it'd be little shit like that. Like I swear, when I was home, Chick-fil-A didn't have mac and cheese yet. And so every day Chick-fil-A showed macaroni and cheese. I'm like, what the fuck, like, damn, I gotta get some macaroni and cheese.
Did you try some already?
Nah, I haven't yet. But you know, it's like little things like that, you know what I'm saying? So, man, like I just want to love on the kids, man.
Who helped shape that whole wave movement in New Jersey and New York. But when August 2015 hit, things got personal. Dice dropped a diss track titled Trap Queen Remix, a direct shot at Fetty's biggest hit. The song's lyrics threw shade at Fetty, claiming Dice was the one who put him on, and that Fetty switched up once fame and money entered the picture. He even hinted that he got cut out of royalties in the big 300 Entertainment deal. P. Dice didn't stop there. He kept dropping songs calling out what he saw as disloyal moves. One of his biggest responses came in late 2015 with Facts, where he laid it all out. Missing credits, unpaid work, and being pushed out of the group he helped build. He even started posting old texts and photos online, trying to prove he was there from day one. Fans started picking sides, some backing Fetty, others saying Dice had a point. Then Dice doubled down again, speaking out when Jersey rapper Tax G claimed Fetty stole his flow. Dice jumped in, saying he knew the truth and was ready to clear the air once and for all. After the tension hit social media, things got even messier. P. Dice clapped back online, defending himself and calling out everyone who tried to downplay his role. Then, according to Dice, Tax G's big homie stepped in and pressed Fetty and the whole squad with a bold ultimatum. It's P. Dice or all of y'all. That move put Fetty in a tough spot, and Dice claimed Fetty chose to cut him off instead of standing by his longtime brother from day one. By September 2015, things had officially turned legal. Reports came out that P. Dice filed a lawsuit against Fetty Wap and RGF Productions, accusing them of breaching contract and holding out on more than $100,000 in unpaid royalties from Trap Queen and a few other collaborations. The case didn't drag too long. By 2016, they reached a quiet settlement out of court, but nobody knows what really went down behind closed doors. After that fallout, Dice's career took a hard hit. He tried to keep pushing with independent projects like Dice World in 2016, but none of them broke through or hit the charts like his earlier work with Fetty. He even claimed he was removed from several songs on Fetty's album after things went south, saying they basically erased him from the picture. Meanwhile, Fetty shifted gears. He restructured the team and made Monty his main partner in music, leading to bangers like 679 and My Way. In interviews, Fetty played it cool, brushing off the tension by saying, "It's all love, but business is business." It was clear he was moving on, keeping the focus on his music and letting the rest fade into the background. Eventually, Fetty had to move forward, but that didn't mean the shots stopped flying. Fans started catching subtle digs in his 2015 track Decline, with lyrics about fake friends and money chasers. A lot of people thought he was taking aim at P. Dice, and the tension between them just kept simmering. By 2017, P. Dice popped up on Vlad TV and reignited everything. In the interview, he claimed Fetty had switched up once fame and fortune hit, saying he used the squad for clout and then left them behind once he blew up. He even mentioned that there were physical run-ins between them, though no police reports ever confirmed those claims. Still, the story spread fast, and fans couldn't stop talking about whether it was truth or just industry bitterness. Fetty, on the other hand, stayed quiet. He never directly responded after 2015. But in a 2018 Complex interview, he hinted that he'd learned some tough lessons about bad business early in his career. Everybody knew exactly what he was referring to, the fallout with P. Dice. That situation turned into a kind of cautionary tale in hip-hop, showing how fame, loyalty, and money can tear a crew apart if business and friendship get mixed up the wrong way. Over the years, things cooled down. P. Dice shifted toward low-key music drops and content creation, only mentioning the past here and there. In 2020, he even made an Instagram post reflecting on real loyalty, a subtle nod to those old days with Fetty and the crew. But when Fetty came home in 2026, the streets hadn't forgotten any of it. The same city that watched him rise and fall was watching closely to see what his next move would be. Patterson's streets have always been unpredictable. One day your brother's got your back, the next he could be your biggest rival. These were the same blocks where chains got snatched and shots rang out. But when Fetty came home, he walked through them like nothing ever happened. Still, before his federal case took him away, there was one more wild incident that showed how fast his temper could flip the script, and it all went down during a Vegas weekend that turned messy fast. September 1st, 2019, Labor Day weekend, the Mirage Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. It was early morning, about 6:10 a.m. when things took a turn. Just days before, Fetty had been back home in Jersey performing at the MTV Video Music Awards as part of a legendary Garden State tribute lineup with Queen Latifah, Redman, Naughty by Nature, and Wyclef Jean. He was flying high off that moment, but Vegas had other plans. According to reports, Fetty, who was 28 at the time, got into a heated argument with a valet worker in the hotel's main parking area. What started as a simple issue, maybe a delay getting his car, access problems, or just a mix-up about parking privileges, escalated in seconds. Witnesses said words were exchanged, then things got physical when Fetty allegedly lost his cool and started throwing punches. Security rushed in to break it up, but the chaos kept rolling. Reports claimed Fetty landed several hits, connecting 3 times on one guard and putting hands on 2 other employees who tried to step in. It all happened fast, turning what should have been a chill Vegas morning into another headline about Fetty Wap's struggles with fame, frustration, and the pressure that never really left him. The valet ended up with some noticeable injuries, mostly facial swelling, but luckily, no one was seriously hurt. Still, the situation got wild fast. One of the Mirage employees reportedly tried to restrain Fetty first, holding him in what they called a citizen's arrest while waiting for the cops to show up. By around 8:30 a.m., Las Vegas Metro Police pulled up and officially booked Fetty on 3 misdemeanor battery charges, 1 for each person he allegedly struck during the scuffle. A few weeks later, TMZ dropped the footage, and that's when things blew up. The video, captured from multiple security angles, showed the chaos clearly. You could see Fetty stepping up toward the valet booth, heated and swinging. At least Two of his punches connected cleanly with one of the security guards before everyone rushed in to break it up. The clip showed guards trying to grab him, shouting as they tried to restrain him while everything unfolded in seconds. People moving fast, voices overlapping, and pure confusion in the frame. The whole altercation only lasted a few minutes before things finally calmed down. Fetty was taken to the Clark County Detention Center, held for a few hours, and released that same day after posting bail. As the case went on, prosecutors reviewed everything and ended up dropping 2 of the counts, keeping just one, a single misdemeanor battery charge focused on the guard he was seen striking on camera. Then, in January 2020, the judge offered Fetty a deal: to stay out of trouble, follow through on certain conditions like anger management or community service, and the remaining charge would be dismissed. He took the deal, got the case cleared, and walked away with another hard lesson about how fast fame, stress, and the wrong moment can turn into another headline. That Vegas case wrapped up quietly. No conviction, no drawn-out legal war, just a quick moment of bad judgment that got handled. Unlike his past beefs, this wasn't about old enemies or street tension. It was simply a heat-of-the-moment clash with hotel staff. There was no history between Fetty and the employees, no retaliation after the fact, and no lawsuits filed by anyone involved. Even the Mirage had no recurring issues. It came and went, just another temporary headline. After that, Fetty tried to focus on music again, dropping songs and staying out of drama. But that calm didn't last long. Fast forward to October 29th, 2021, at Citi Field in Queens, New York, the Rolling Loud Festival. Fetty was on the lineup and supposed to perform for thousands of fans. But before he could even touch the stage, everything went left. FBI and DEA agents rolled in heavy, grabbing him backstage along with 5 other men as part of Operation Crash Out, a major sting aimed at breaking down a massive bi-coastal drug network. The list of co-defendants shocked everyone. Among them were Anthony Leonardi, who was actually a correctional officer, plus Brian Sullivan, Anthony Cinci, Kevin Gunning, and Robert Leonardi. Prosecutors claimed this wasn't some small-time street deal. It was a large-scale drug operation, with shipments allegedly moving across the country. The indictment accused the crew of conspiring to distribute over 100 kilograms of heroin, fentanyl, cocaine, and crack. Authorities said the setup was a full-on pipeline, moving bulk product from the West Coast, mainly California, to the East Coast, where it was distributed through connections in New York and New Jersey. What should have been a career highlight at Rolling Loud instantly turned into the biggest legal storm of Fetty's life. The feds claimed the crew was moving shipments from the West Coast to the East using everything from commercial flights to cars with hidden trap compartments built in. According to the indictment, the whole operation stretched from around June 2019 to June 2020, running through key areas like Suffolk County, New York, and Fetty's hometown, Paterson, New Jersey. Investigators said the total street value of the drugs hit millions, all during the height of America's opioid crisis, when fentanyl overdoses were skyrocketing across the nation. Prosecutors labeled Fetty as a kilogram-level redistributor, alleging that he personally handled large quantities and used his fame, connections, and resources to keep the network running smoothly. The feds said they had everything: surveillance, wiretaps, and even text messages tying the group together. But one detail really stood out. Anthony Leonardi, a New Jersey correctional officer, was accused of using his job to protect the operation, feeding insider info, and helping things flow under the radar. Leonardi pled not guilty when he faced the judge. His bond was set at $500,000, secured through family property. The court put him on strict house arrest with an ankle monitor and tight travel limits until trial. Then came December 11th, 2021, when things took another wild turn. According to FBI records, Fetty got into a heated FaceTime argument with a man referred to only as John Doe. The exchange reportedly got ugly fast. The other guy allegedly made disrespectful remarks, including comments about Fetty's 4-year-old daughter, Lauren, who had tragically passed just months earlier in July 2021. He also accused Fetty of being disloyal. In response, Fetty allegedly snapped. The documents claim he made verbal threats during the call while flashing what looked like a weapon on screen. It was a tense and emotional moment that quickly became a serious problem for him legally, showing how personal pain and anger were starting to collide with his already high-stakes situation. That FaceTime call ended up haunting Fetty big time. It was all recorded, both video and audio. The footage reportedly showed him holding and flashing a firearm, which instantly violated his bond terms since, as a convicted felon, he wasn't allowed to have any kind of weapon. Once the feds got that evidence, things moved fast. On August 8th, 2022, agents showed up in New Jersey with a warrant and took Fetty back into custody for breaking his bond conditions. The judge revoked his $500,000 bond on the spot, and he was sent to the Nassau County Correctional Center before later being transferred to federal facilities like MDC Brooklyn while waiting for his main drug case to move forward. His defense team pushed hard to explain what happened, arguing that the outburst wasn't random. They said it was triggered by the other person's harsh and personal comments, especially remarks about Fetty's late daughter and false accusations of betrayal. But the court wasn't swayed. The judge focused on the facts, the video proof, and the weapon violation, saying those actions broke the terms no matter the reason behind them. Then, on August 22nd, 2022, Fetty entered a guilty plea to 1 count of conspiracy to possess and distribute over 500 grams of cocaine, a lesser charge compared to the heavy original indictment that carried even harsher penalties. Months later, on May 24th, 2023, Judge Joanna Siebert delivered the sentence, 6 years in federal prison, followed by 5 years of supervised release. It was a huge fall from grace, from billboard hits to a cell block, and all because a moment of emotion turned into a federal violation that cost him his freedom again. During his sentencing hearing at the Central Islip Federal Courthouse, Fetty Wap stood before the judge and spoke from the heart. He didn't try to dodge responsibility. Instead, he looked straight ahead and said, "I hurt my community, the people who looked up to me, my family, and myself. I only ever wanted to help people, but I made bad choices." It was a rare moment of raw honesty that showed how much he'd reflected on where things went wrong. After the hearing, Fetty was sent to FCY Sandstone in Minnesota, a low-security federal facility known for its rehabilitation programs. While he was there, he stayed out of trouble and focused on rebuilding himself. He stacked up good time credits by enrolling in drug treatment programs, anger management classes, and educational courses, making use of every opportunity to earn an earlier shot at freedom. Thanks to the First Step Act, those credits actually counted, cutting real time off his sentence. Then, on January 7th, 2026, the Bureau of Prisons officially transferred him from FC1 Sandstone to home confinement under the Residential Reentry Management Office based in Philadelphia. For the first time in years, Fetty was back on New Jersey soil, close to family, close to where it all began. But that freedom came with strings attached. Home confinement might sound like a return to normal life, but legally, he was still under BOP custody, monitored, restricted, and bound by tight rules. Every move, every call, every visit was controlled. The setup kept him away from old conflicts in Patterson and limited who he could see or talk to. He was home, but still living within invisible walls, walking the thin line between redemption and relapse. Now that Fetty's on home confinement, every move he makes is under a microscope. He's strapped with an electronic ankle monitor that tracks his exact location 24/7. No breaks, no privacy. If he steps even a few feet outside his approved zone without clearance, his probation officer gets an alert instantly, and that alone could land him right back behind federal bars. He's allowed to stay mostly at an approved house somewhere in Jersey, close to family for stability. But anytime he wants to step out, whether it's for a doctor's appointment, a probation check-in, a court hearing, church, or even a studio session, he's got to get it cleared beforehand. Every trip has to be pre-approved with zero room for spontaneous moves. Traveling outside a certain radius is a no-go unless the feds sign off first, and he's banned from entering high-risk spots, especially certain Patterson blocks tied to his past. On top of that, re-entry staff can pull up without warning. Unannounced visits, random check-ins, full inspections, all part of the deal. Fetty's also required to attend mandatory programs like substance abuse counseling and outpatient treatment, both connected to his prior drug conviction. Even his finances are under watch. He can't open new bank accounts, apply for credit, or make major money moves without the feds approving it first. The goal is to keep him clear of any illegal financial activity or shady ties. And just to make it tighter, he's hit with random drug tests at any time. If he fails or refuses one, that's it. Automatic sanctions, maybe even time back inside. It's real structured freedom. One wrong step and the second chance disappears fast. Fetty's home confinement is set to run until around November 8th, 2026, and after that, he'll move into a strict 5-year supervised release period that stretches all the way to about 2031. During that time, he's still under federal supervision, just not locked up. That means constant check-ins with a U.S. probation officer who has the power to search him, his home, or his belongings without a warrant if they suspect anything shady going on. The rules are tight. He's banned from owning or even being near any firearms, and he can't drink excessively or use substances that aren't prescribed. He's got to keep a legit job and report any changes right away. One wrong move, a missed meeting, a bad test, or even being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he could be sent straight back to federal custody. On top of that, there are major restrictions on who he can associate with. Any contact with known felons, especially anyone linked to the old drug operation, would instantly violate his release terms. Even a quick photo or phone call could count against him if it's with the wrong person. All these rules are designed to keep him from falling back into the same circles that led to his downfall. They're like invisible walls. No bars this time, but still a cage in their own way. So while it's not officially called protective custody, the setup works the same way. Distance, control, and constant oversight to stop the past from catching up again. All those federal restrictions aren't just punishment, they're built as safety nets. The rules work like proactive shields, meant to keep Fetty from slipping back into old patterns while also protecting the community around him. But that leaves one big question hanging in the air. What about those so-called ops people claimed he was afraid of? The same ones folks said he was begging not to come after him. When Fetty sat down for his first major post-release interview on The Breakfast Club on January 9th, 2026, he didn't feed into any of that. He didn't mention beef, old enemies, or even personal threats. Instead, he spoke calmly, saying the time he spent locked up was humbling. He said it taught him what real freedom feels like, and more importantly, how to value peace and silence. That quiet time, according to him, forced him to grow up and see things differently. He described it as finding humility in isolation and learning to move smarter because of it. When the host asked about heading back to Patterson, Fetty didn't flinch. He made it clear he wasn't living in fear and wasn't letting rumors define him. His words hit hard. Weak things happen to weak men. He said nobody was ever going to catch him moving scared in his own city. That confidence set the tone. He was focused, not fearful. Not long after, the Shade Room reposted one of his Instagram captions, where Fetty thanked his fans, family, and supporters, especially 50 Cent, who'd been in his corner since day one. In that post, Fetty opened up about his plans to give back through philanthropy, creating programs focused on education, tech access, vision health, and youth development. He wrote about coming out stronger, wiser, and determined to use his platform for good. No talk about enemies, no fear, no begging, just growth, purpose, and a promise to move different this time around. That old tension between Fetty Wap and Raheem Thomas, the same one that sparked back at that Patterson deli in 2017, seems long gone. There haven't been any new incidents or reports for years. Thomas ended up facing his own legal issues and kept himself out of the spotlight, while the feud that once had the streets buzzing finally cooled off for good. The same goes for his fallout with P-Dice. That smoke's been dead for a while now. These days, P-Dice keeps it low-key, focusing on music drops and content creation. Back in 2020, he even posted on Instagram reflecting on everything that happened. But instead of throwing shots, he kept it mature. The drama that once divided fans is now looked at as a cautionary tale about how fame and ego can tear real friendships apart. Even that wild Vegas moment from 2019, just a one-time misdemeanor, got resolved through the system with no ongoing problems or retaliation. No more fights, no new headlines, just a man trying to move past his mistakes. When Fetty finally came home to Patterson, the vibe was nothing but love. The streets didn't meet him with tension or trouble. They met him with 1738 chants echoing through the crowd. Within 48 hours, he was already sitting down for interviews, no security, no fear, just chill talk about Chick-fil-A, mac and cheese, and taking cruise trips with his kids. Even his ex Mo, who had originally tweeted disappointment after his release, later softened up. When TMZ caught her outside, she said she genuinely wanted to see him find peace and growth, that freedom was a second chance, and she hoped he'd use it to rewrite his story. That's where things stand now. A comeback built on lessons, not beefs, and a man determined to move forward with focus and peace.